Hi, this is Miss Andrea, and I just want to talk about something going on in the news today that has a lot to do with what's going wrong in education and is a big part of why I came back to revive my YouTube channel and talk about homeschooling. Um, as my homeschool career wound down, um, I had the privilege to work with several young Black men who had been left behind, who were put on a school to prison pipeline. And it was my privilege to help their parents find the resources to educate them and get them into college. And it was my privilege to see them blossom and grow and do well, in spite of the fact that the school said that they could not. Today, what I'm looking at right now is a symptom of this educational system that has decided that our kids are not worth educating. Okay, so today in Detroit, this is an Associated Press article, and it took me 15 minutes to find it. I kept finding the news, but I could only find it in local news. This shouldn't have been a search for me. It shouldn't have just been released by the AP at 5:30 p.m. Okay, but here we go. A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit focused on poor reading skills of students at several Detroit schools, concluding in part that there is no constitutional right to literacy and drawing vows of an appeal. Judge Stephen Murphy III agreed in his 40-page ruling that when a child who could be taught to read goes untaught, the child suffers a lasting injury, and so does society. But he also asserted that the U.S. Constitution doesn't guarantee a fundamental right to literacy. So the Constitution says you have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it does not say to an education. And so therefore, even though the Detroit schools are trash, and schools and other places that aren't filled with Black people aren't trash, that these kids in Detroit have no rights to an education, and they're being harmed. Okay, and so parents are fighting, and parents, well, should fight. Keep fighting. I encourage you. But this is going to take years if you are successful. And your kids are in, I don't know, kindergarten learning to read, fourth grade where they should be picking up a love for reading, getting into math, high school where they should be really delving into deep subjects, but maybe they don't read so good, and so they're failing because they're embarrassed. Okay? And you can't wait for this to get thrown out of court. You can't wait for a judgment that said, we don't care about your children to get thrown out of court. You need to homeschool them. You need to homeschool them now. And I hate to be like, everybody needs to homeschool. Okay, everyone in Detroit needs to start right now because your kids have no rights. And so they want you to send your kids there to be babysat all day, to be in a hostile environment, to leave the school and get shot. But while they're there, they're at least not being taught to. They get taught to read better in prison, which is where they're trying to send them. So, unfortunately, this is very racial, and I'm not a person who likes to really discuss race, but the older I get, the more I'm having trouble avoiding it, especially with the current culture of our country. There is no time to wait for someone to decide your child gets a good education. You cannot ask for permission to learn. Take them out. You have the internet. If you're watching this video right now, you have all the resources you need to homeschool. All of them. All of them. You have questions? Ask me. Ask me in the comments. Find my email. It's listed. Ask me. I'm here. If I get overwhelmed, I got some friends who can help me. This is crazy. And if no one else is going to teach your kids to read, write, love education, and get into higher education, you have to do it. And I'm not doing this because of what's happening right now. I didn't get into homeschooling because of what's happening right now. I got into homeschooling because I'm an observer. And my own situation, if you see my background videos, my stories, that they had me in special ed in kindergarten and first grade. They tried to put my son back because they decided he couldn't talk. They were trying to drug up my daughter with Ritalin. So there's that. And I'm from good neighborhoods. Well, I guess I wasn't as a child, but where I've raised my children have always been good neighborhoods with great schools, by the way. But my kids got singled out. But not just me, but I have brothers who didn't finish school. I have nephews who didn't finish school. I have extended family members who didn't finish school, all male, by the way. There's a study that says that Black women are the most educated demographic in the country. Black men fall at the least. I guess we're just kind of less threatening. But if we are the most educated demographic, aren't we also the best people to be teaching our kids? Okay? So I'm going through life watching everyone around me fall to the wayside and not getting their education, and I'm frustrated. And I'm seeing similarities. I'm seeing things going on with my kids, and I'm like, this looks familiar. And I just said no. I just put the horse, grabbed the reins and said, nope, no. They might not be the most educated people on the face of God's green earth, but they'll be in way better shape than if I left them. So please hear me. Please hear my heart. Things are just not going well in the world of education. We're dealing with some stuff politically that endangers education as we know it. And it's needed to be revamped for decades. If I were the Secretary of Education, there would be 10 to 15 kids per classroom, 2 to 3 teachers in each classroom, and a wall of computers, because every kid goes at a different pace, and they would be able to allow to go at their pace. There would be group activities, and then there would be one-on-one learning where kids learn to mastery. School is needed to be revamped for ages, but besides that, even with it not being revamped, they don't even have the right to the crap that we got 30 some years ago. So, just please hear me. You don't have to homeschool, but you have to be the one who's responsible for your kids' education, however they get it. Take charge, make changes. Until next time.